Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about the Pythagoras theorem. And Pythagoras theorem is mainly applicable for only right angle triangles. So suppose you have a right angle triangle and right angle triangle has three sides. We call it as a base, height and opposite to both hypotenuse. So simply to put into words, Pythagoras theorem says base square plus height square equals to hypotenuse square. And say you have base as a 3 and height as a 4. So units doesn't matter here. That 3 can be into centimeters, meters, kilometers, anything. Only use concentrate on the values. Suppose base is 3 and height is 4. So according to Pythagoras theorem, base square, which is 3 square, and height square, which is 4 square, equals to hypotenuse square. And if you convert into values, 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16 equals to hypotenuse square. Hypotenuse square, which sums to be 25, equals to hypotenuse is root of 25 is 5. So according to the Pythagoras theorem, if base is 3, height is 4, then hypotenuse should be 5. And it gives us very good sequence. Say I'm writing it a sequence here. 3 base, 4 height, then hypotenuse is 5. The good part here is you can multiply it with any factor. So it is a factor multiplied by factor 1. Suppose you multiply the base with 2, which will become 6, and height with 2, which will become 8. Then hypotenuse will also get multiplied by 2, that is 10. And this trick is very interesting because in competitive exams, if you want to compute hypotenuse very fast, you can just keep this pattern in your mind and you can get hypotenuse in milliseconds or seconds. Similarly, if multiplication factors is 3, then 3 into 3, 9, 4 into 3, 12, then hypotenuse will be 15. And so on. So if someone asks you if my base is 13 and hypotenuse is 40, sorry, height is 40, then what will be the hypotenuse? Yes, it will be just multiplication factor of 10 and it is 50. One point to remember here is this can be exchanged. Means it is not necessary that base should be always 3 and height should be always 4. Base can also be 4 and height can also be 3. So vice versa. These can interchange, but the squares of these two should be equals to hypotenuse square. That is the Pythagoras theorem. One more sequence to this is if your base is 12 and say height is 5, then what will be the hypotenuse? So let's say according to the Pythagoras theorem, b square plus h square equals to ht square, and now b is say 12 square and h is 5 square equals to ht square. 12 square is 144 plus 5 square is 25. So is the ht square. Ht equals to sum of this is 169. Ht square is 169. So ht will be root of 169 equals to 13. So it is giving us like hypotenuse as 13 if base is 5 and height is, sorry, base is 12 and height is 5. So hypotenuse will be 13. This will again lead us to another sequence. Suppose 12, 5, then hypotenuse 13. And same goes with above logic. You can multiply it with any factor. And if it is a 2 factor is 2, multiplication factor is 2, then it is 24, 10, and 26. If multiplication factor is 3, then 36, 15, and 39. So if someone asks you, what will be the hypotenuse if my base is 72 and height is say 30. Then it is very simple that your multiplication factor is 6 and 6 12s are 72, 6 5s are 30, then hypotenuse is 78. Definitely you can calculate this with above formula, but just imagine you are calculating 72 square plus 30 square, adding it, and then calculating the square root of 38, which is very, very tedious. And that's where this is very, very important trick to remember for your competitive exams. Very common use cases of this is, suppose there are two cyclists and those are traveling in north and south direction, and after given time what will be the distance between them is a common competitive exam question. Suppose these are the two, these are the this is our directions, and I will say these directions are like this. If it is a north, it is a south, then it will be a west, this is east. We have two cyclists. One cyclist is moving to the north direction, other cyclist is moving to the east direction. And if east direction moving cyclist is moving at the speed of say 12 kilometer per hour, and the cyclist at the which is moving at north is moving at 5 kilometer per hour. So after 1 hour, what will be the distance? And if you look at our equation, this will be this will cover 12 kilometers and this will cover 5 kilometers. So distance between them will be, as per what we calculate, is 13. But just imagine in a competitive exam you get a question like what will be their distance after 6 hours. Then most people will calculate it as a 72, and then again 5 is 30 kilometers, and then they will start uh, calculating the squares and then square roots. But the what trick I have mentioned earlier, you can just do the multiplication by the factor of 6, and you will get after 6 hours the distance between these two motorists will be 78. This will be very time saving in your competitive exams and will keep you ahead of all the competition. So I'll be releasing such videos, tips and tricks in my further sections. Thank you for watching.